Trump just posted that Charlie Kirk is dead.
All right, so is this ready to pull the trigger? We can get Trump cut in a second.
He got at an event that he was hosting in Utah. And I am sad, distraught. In fact, I just cried on my live stream in front of 250,000 people.
Photos of a man that they believe is the suspect. The police say that they do have good video footage of this suspect, and they believe that he is somebody that could potentially be a college student because they say he blended in very well.
Okay, so listen, this whole thing is kind of wild. Like, people were already sad about Charlie Kirk passing away, but then it got even crazier when some news places acted like it was all a big joke, and there is even this leaked video from TMZ where they were literally laughing while talking about it, and like, that's not even the end of it, because after that, the internet just exploded with memes making fun of the whole thing, and some people are even saying he actually deserved it, which is honestly just so messed up.
Shock in the US after a prominent right-wing activist, Charlie Kirk, was dead while addressing students on a campus in Utah. Video footage showed Mr. Kirk, a close ally of Donald Trump, speaking and then slumping down in his seat.
So the story goes like this. On September 10th, 2025, Charlie Kirk was at Utah Valley University doing his big comeback debate tour, and out of nowhere, he got shot right there in front of everyone, and people were freaking out because minutes later, some guy got grabbed by security and he even shouted that he would do it again, but then plot twist, the FBI said, nope, that was not the real guy because the actual shooter had already climbed out through the roof and dipped, and then just about an hour later, Trump jumped on Truth Social and made it official that Charlie was gone.
Trump, a close personal friend of Charlie Kirk, made the announcement on his Truth Social account just a few minutes ago. I want to read you what he wrote. He said, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially by me, and he is now no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you." Now, we are just seeing pictures come in from the scene of a SWAT team moving from building to building, trying to track down the alleged.
And then Trump tried to calm things down by posting this video on his social media, but people started saying, hold up, this looks totally fake and probably made by AI, and the drama just kept building because one person on X was like, hey, this should be a huge deal. The White House is dropping AI videos of Trump, like was he even really there at all? And then another person jumped in saying, the funniest part is that Trump actually used an obvious AI tribute and nobody in the media is even calling it out, which just makes the whole thing feel super shady.
Fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible.
Yesterday at the Pentagon during the 9/11 ceremony, Trump suddenly announced that Charlie Kirk is going to be honored after his death with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is like the biggest award a normal person can get in America, and the crowd was kind of shocked because nobody really saw that coming.
Before we begin, let me express the horror and grief so many Americans at the heinous Charlie Kirk have felt. Charlie was a giant of his generation, a champion of liberty, and an inspiration to millions and millions of people. Our prayers are with his wonderful wife, Eric, and his beautiful children. Fantastic people they are. We miss him greatly, yet I have no doubt that Charlie's voice and the courage he put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people, will live on. I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The date of the ceremony will be announced, and I can only guarantee you one thing, that we will have a very big crowd. Very, very big.
TMZ was one of the first to jump on the story, and they somehow already had video of the whole thing within minutes. But the way they handled it was honestly so bizarre, because you could literally hear the staff cheering and clapping like it was some party just half a minute before they broke the news about Charlie Kirk dying, and then they even laughed and applauded right before passing it over to Harvey Levin, which made the whole thing feel super cold and messed up.
Janet, go to have somebody look at the Fox.
Trump. Trump just posted it.
Let's get it up.
Trump just posted that Charlie Kirk is dead.
All right, so is this ready to pull the trigger? We can get Trump cut in a second.
TMZ tried to clap back at the backlash, saying, oh no, it was just bad timing, and that their workers were actually cheering about some car chase happening at the same moment. But then police reports came out and totally crushed that excuse, because it was confirmed there was no car chase going on at all. So now people are side-eyeing TMZ even harder.
We were live streaming all day during this tragedy. When something happened in our office, as we were reporting of Charlie Kirk, there were some people in the back room away from our news desk here who were watching a car chase, and they were laughing, they were clapping, and you could hear it out here. And we want to make a couple of things clear. One is that I know these people, and they were not laughing, they were not reacting that way about Charlie Kirk's. They were not. They would not work here if they did. And that being said, we acknowledge that it was horrible timing. And for that, we are sorry. We apologize. We apologize. I get that you had to hear that. And I get why, if you're watching the stream, you may have felt that that's what the laughter was about. We assure you, it was not about that, but it was horrible timing. And by the way, I get it too, and he gets it, because we listened as we were talking. You can go back and look on the stream. I actually walked off camera to go back and find out what the hell was going on, because it was inappropriate for the laughter at that time, but no one was laughing about the Charlie Kirk tragedy. Nevertheless, we apologize for the way it sounded.
And it was not just TMZ catching heat, because MSNBC got dragged too after Matthew Dow went on live TV and straight up said that whatever happened to Charlie was basically his own fault, and that comment blew up so bad they had to fire him right after.
The full details of this, we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about this. But following up on what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
Just last month, South Park already made fun of Charlie Kirk, and now people are bringing that up again like the timing is kinda crazy.
Charlie Kirk was fatally down while speaking at a college event yesterday. Some MAGA supporters are pointing the finger at South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone, alleging they helped fuel the hatred that led to the conservative influencers' action. as a result of one of the show's recent episodes. The second episode of season 27, titled 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐤𝐸, originally aired August 6 and immediately drew attention for lampooning Kirk's college-speaking style. In the episode, one of the show's iconic characters, Eric Cartman, parodied Kirk, adopting his mannerisms for a satirical college debate podcast while sporting his iconic hairstyle and look. The lampoon climaxed with Cartman receiving the Charlie Kirk Award for Young Master Debaters. Days after the episode aired, Kirk himself laughed off the mockery.
Okay, everybody, the South Park episode just dropped, and honestly, it is hilarious. I mean, part of it is kind of like whatever, typical humor, but it was hilarious.
Kirk even told Fox News at the time he had grown up watching South Park and considered the parody part of being in the public arena. But after his death, the satire has become a flashpoint, as MAGA conservatives online have alleged Parker and Stone fueled a fire that contributed to Kirk's death. South Park certainly fermented the hatred necessary to get Kirk outright fumed. Trey Parker and Matt Stone are responsible, and a Turning Point USA staffer posted on Telegram, "Comedy has consequences. Charlie was targeted in the culture before he was targeted in real life."
This whole thing has totally shaken right-wing voices, with big names like Ben Shapiro canceling their events, and even Charlie Kirk's group Turning Point USA shutting down their meetings and telling everyone to come together and grieve.
More breaking news related to the Kirk appearance by Ben Shapiro at the Reagan Library tonight has been canceled. Shapiro, like Kirk, is a conservative media personality, including on radio here in Southern California. He was set to speak and hold a book signing this event at the library in Simi Valley. Again, it has been postponed in light of the Kirk and will be rescheduled.
So Megyn Kelly, who is a conservative voice from Turning Point, was really trying not to cry while saying how heartbreaking this loss feels. Not just for Kirk's family, but also for everyone who ever debated with him. And she mentioned that she honestly believed he had what it takes to become president one day, and while talking with Sky News host Paul Murray, she even shared how she once pictured Charlie ruling the White House. But now all those dreams are just memories people will talk about.
Oh, good God. Yeah. He's dead. It's official. It's from the COO of Turning Point, who just tweeted out, "Dear Turning Point USA family, it's with a heavy heart that we, the Turning Point USA leadership team, write to notify you that earlier this afternoon, Charlie went to his eternal reward with Jesus Christ in heaven. We're still gathering more information and will come to you soon with updates. However, in the meantime, Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action will be closed for business until Monday the 15th, likely longer. If you're in the field or traveling, please cancel everything and return home immediately. All internal, external meetings, etc. are canceled. Please pray. Sincerely, Justin." And then they offer grieving services, counseling services for their team. I am so sorry to be bringing you this news. I am so sorry. I'm sorry for what it means for our country, for Charlie, poor dear Charlie and his family. Sorry for what it's going to mean for the debates that we have yet to have, that he would have won. He would have put everyone to shame on, as he had been. And I'm angry, really angry about how this happened, why this happened, and why we don't have a person in custody.
Candace Owens also jumped in with her reaction, saying Charlie was not just a friend, but the kind of person who always showed up whenever she needed someone, and she even posted this emotional video on Twitter where she admitted she feels totally lost and is just hoping she can somehow find the right words to honor him.
But I don't want today to be about anything other than you guys knowing that Charlie really was an amazing person. You know, he was like, we were really close, and he was my best friend and my brother, and I will never unsee the footage of what I saw.
Candace Owens, who previously worked with Charlie Kirk at Turning Point USA, had her YouTube live stream freeze tonight because more than 115,000 viewers tuned in.
Well, memorials for Charlie Kirk are going on across the U.S. This one outside Turning Point's headquarters in Phoenix, Arizona.
Another happened earlier tonight at Loyola Marymount University. That's where Fox 11's Laura Diaz was.
I just think it's pretty scary, you know? I mean, he was touring college campuses. I'm pretty sure it was his first tour of the season he was doing, and it's just pretty scary.
At Loyola Marymount University, the targeted prominent conservative podcaster Charlie Kirk was on the minds of many students this 9/11. Kirk said on Wednesday, as he fielded questions from students at a small university in Utah, was a stark reminder of the politically polarized times.
Joe Rogan was actually live when the news broke, and he was in the middle of chatting with Charlie Sheen, and right then he pointed out how he could already sense the wave of hate coming, and he even predicted that plenty of people out there would end up celebrating instead of mourning.
Just happened. We just found out that Charlie Kirk got...
It's awful.
And is he dead?
No, I don't think so.
That's what was just...
One of the guys out there just said, confirmed that he's dead.
In the lobby was just...
I've been looking. I haven't seen anything that said confirmed.
Whoa.
For having a different opinion from somebody else.
Yeah.
Different ideology from somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Beliefs that didn't align.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Dead.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Jesus. 27 years old, maybe? 30?
Do they even have a suspect?
I don't know. Well, that's why I'm literally trying to track it all on Twitter, and it's all...
Nobody deserves it. He doesn't deserve that. Nobody deserves that.
Just like Joe Rogan said, the moment Charlie's death got announced, a bunch of left-wing media pages and Twitter accounts instantly began throwing around memes making fun of him and claiming he got what was coming. And they even started pulling old clips from his speeches, twisting them out of context to fuel the hate. Like there was one video where he talked about a few deaths a year being worth it to keep something around, and then even his very last words blaming minorities for crime were dragged back up and used as ammo against him.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal.
I feel your pain. Instead, it is to say you're actually not in pain. So let's just very short clip. Bill Clinton in the 1990s, it was all about empathy and sympathy. I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage, but it is very effective when it comes to politics. Sympathy I prefer more than empathy. That's a separate...
No matter the political fights, violence can never be the solution, and what happened to Charlie is a tragedy that should never happen again, especially since his wife and young daughter were right there at the university, and the little girl had to witness her dad pass in such a heartbreaking way.
Tonight, many in Arizona are remembering Charlie Kirk.
That's right. So many people have shown up to the mortuary to pay their respects. That is where we find 12 News journalist Bianca Bono live right now. And Bianca, what are you seeing there right now?
Well, prior to Charlie Kirk's body arriving here at this mortuary, Vice President J.D. Vance and his wife flew to Utah today to grieve with Charlie Kirk's family and friends. Then after helping carry Kirk's casket onto Air Force Two, they flew here to Phoenix.
I think it's just horrific, and I hope something like this never happens.
Supporters of Charlie Kirk emotional as they watched the skies at Sky Harbor, waiting for Air Force Two to touch down.
We can have civilized conversations with Republicans and with Democrats without fighting, and Charlie showed the world that. And I hope that we can get there again.
Charlie Kirk was married with 2 young children. His wife, Erica, was former Miss Arizona in the 2012 Miss USA pageant.
That means your new Miss Arizona USA 2012 is Erica Franzwey.
Charlie Kirk and Erica had their first date here at Bill's Bar and Burger in New York City 7 years ago. 2 years later, Kirk popped the question. He's told his millions of followers that the most important thing in life was getting married and having kids. Kirk was a fixture on Fox and Friends in a sweet moment backstage. His daughter ran into his arms. Kirk was a huge but controversial star on college campuses, famous for debating students who disagreed with him.
Hello, what's your name?
Alizé.
Nice to meet you.
He was on the first episode of California Governor Gavin Newsom's podcast.
Literally last night, trying to put my son to bed. He's like, no, Dad, what time? What time's Charlie going to be here? What time? You are making a damn dent.
In many ways, Charlie Kirk was the heartbeat and the brainwave of young conservatives. He was really the driving force if there was a personality.
After Charlie's death, his rival Senator Bernie Sanders and Dean Withers still defended him, with Dean saying violence is never the answer, and this is not about politics but about right and wrong. Yet he was shockingly attacked for crying over Charlie and had to explain his tears.
Thank you very much for joining me. I want to say a few words regarding the terrible murder yesterday of Charlie Kirk, someone who I strongly disagreed with on almost every issue, but who was clearly a very smart and effective communicator and organizer, and someone unafraid to get out into the world and engage the public. My condolences go out to his wife and his family. A free and democratic society, which is what America is supposed to be about, depends upon the basic premise that people can speak out, organize, and take part in public life without fear, without worrying that they might be injured or humiliated for expressing their political views. In fact, that is the essence of what freedom is about and what democracy is about. You have a point of view? That's great. I have a point of view that is different than yours. That's great. Let's argue it out. We make our case to the American people at the local, state, and federal levels, and we hold free elections in which the people decide what they want. That's called freedom and democracy. And I want as many people as possible to participate in that process without fear.
Charlie Kirk is dead. He got at an event that he was hosting in Utah. And I am sad, distraught. In fact, I just cried on my live stream in front of 250,000 people. My goal in this video is to tell you why I feel this way. If you want to end violence, it is something that you can never celebrate. It is always disgusting, always vile, and always abhorrent. It should come as no shock to yourself when I tell you that I think Charlie Kirk was a bad person. I've made that very clear over the last year, but does that mean I think he deserves to lose his life? No. Does that mean I think his two young children, who were in attendance at the event where he was, deserve to watch their father die? No. Does that mean I think they deserve to grow up without him? No. Does that mean I think that his wife, who was also there, deserved to lose her husband? No. And honestly, if you answered yes to any of those questions, there's a very clear line drawn between me and you. I don't want your support, and I don't support you either. We as a collective need to end violence. And if that phrase is negotiable for you...
The FBI has started a full investigation, and they are even offering $100,000 for anyone who can give information about the suspect.
Updates in the incident that happened with Charlie Kirk, and then the FBI have now released photos of a man that they believe is the suspect. The police say that they do have good video footage of this suspect, and they believe that he is somebody that could potentially be a college student because they say he blended in very well. And this is just my opinion, but I do not feel like this man is a college student. I feel like he looks and appears to be in his mid-30s, and that's just an opinion. And I also felt like this because I feel like whoever did this had to have some type of skill to get him from 200 yards away with a sniper. This man was caught on video going up the stairwell on the roof where we know the person did fire those. As you can see, here's the suspect running on the roof away after the incident occurred. Now, the police are saying they were able to track his movements. He jumped off the roof and then he ran into a neighborhood that was right off campus. Police say in a nearby wooded area, they found a high-powered bolt-action rifle, and they believe that this was the one that was used to take out Charlie Kirk. They're also stating that they got a footwear impression. They also got a handprint impression and a forearm impression that they are trying to analyze. Before police put out this photo of this person, they said that they were using some AI technology to try to identify the person in the video where they got this photo from. So I assume it probably wasn't that helpful, and this is why we are now seeing the photo of this person and they're asking for any tips. But so far, this is the only updates that we have.
A tweet about the incident said a vest would not have saved Charlie since he was shot in the neck, and even his security could not protect him because the sniper was 200 yards away, and the post ended saying only stricter regulation could have helped, which was something he and his peers always opposed.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here today. My name is 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐿𝐸 𝐿𝐸. I am the Communications Director for the Utah Department of Public Safety. This evening, we have FBI Director Patel, FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, Governor Spencer Cox, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, and Commissioner Anderson, as well as Commissioner Bo Mason, as well as some local partners here present with us today. Governor will kick it off. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here tonight. We appreciate the media and the partnership we have with you in helping us to get information out to the public so that we can catch this and hold him accountable. We are going to share a portion of a video and that we have of the suspect, as well as some new stills. Those have already been released, but we want to make sure that they get as much attention as possible so that we can get help from the public in tracking down this evil human being. So we're going to cue up the video right now. Show that. I've asked Commissioner Bo Mason if he would narrate to you what is happening in this video.
Vice President J.D. Vance dropped every Memorial Day commitment he had and chose to ride along with Charlie's body on Air Force 2, showing how deeply he wanted to honor him.
So Melania Trump, she put out a beautiful post reminding us of lost here. This was on X. She said Charlie's children will be raised with stories instead of memories, photographs instead of laughter, and silence where their father's voice should have echoed. Charlie Kirk's life should serve as a symbolic reminder that compassionate awareness elevates family, love, and country.
And you know that does, if you don't mind me just saying this, Lawrence, she also had, after the Butler assassination attempt, she wasn't talking about a president. He was talking about he's a father and a husband. So we almost lost a father. Like, she humanizes it with the family and not with titles.
Because he was a human being. And I think that's what the First Lady, I think we look at these politicians, you put them on a pedestal and these people, first of all, he wasn't even a politician. He was a dad trying to mobilize young people. And when you put it that way, these people have feelings. They have families. And you just robbed a young dad of those memories with his children. The Vice President of the United States, who was very close to Charlie Kirk, had this to say on X. When I became the VP nominee, something Charlie advocated for both in public and private, Charlie was there for me. I was so glad to be a part of the president's team, but candidly surprised by the effect it had on our family. Our kids, especially our oldest, struggled with the attention and the constant presence of protective detail. I felt this acute sense of guilt that I had conscripted my kids into this life without getting their permission. And Charlie was constantly calling and texting, checking on our family and offering guidance and prayer. Some of our most successful events were organized not by the campaign, but by Turning Point USA. He wasn't just a thinker, he was a doer, turning big ideas into bigger events with thousands of activists. And after every event, he would give me a big hug, tell me he was praying for me, and ask me what he could do. You focus on Wisconsin, he'll tell me. Arizona is in the bag. And it was.
People may disagree on ideas, but it should never turn into harm, and now Charlie's friends, family, and supporters are honoring his memory, reminding us all to reflect on what is happening in our country. So stay with our channel and keep notifications on for updates. If you want more stories and updates like this, make sure to subscribe to 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐿𝐸 Reports and hit the bell so you never miss a new report.